Today's video is the sort of video that I've been wanting to do for a while. As you know, on this channel, I always try to keep everything as transparent as possible when it comes to beat selling. Recently, I'm not gonna lie, I have not been making as many beat sales as I want to, and I think this could really time with the fact that I have been getting a lot of people messaging me in different circumstances saying that they've been uploading beats for X amount of time and getting no sales or X amount of sales, and trying to ask what the solution is and what they're doing wrong. Now, I would be lying if I said I didn't do everything perfectly the whole of the time and I didn't 100% know what I was doing all of the time, because in this ever adapting and changing world, you have to adapt with changes. And in beat selling, what worked last month, it may not work this month, and that's how it is. Sometimes, you know, something that could work for a while will not work after a certain amount of time because things change. And that, I feel like, is the similar situation to my marketing right now. Is some of the things that I've been doing marketing need to be looked at, because in the last month there has been a bit of a decline in the sales front. So I thought, even though normally I would address this, take a look at the stats myself and then make notes and adapt, I thought I would actually just record a video just so you can actually see me doing it. So this is something that you can then maybe do for yourself and try and change the way you think about your stats and the way you look at your stats, and without even saying like my help from relying on me uploading a video for you to learn new things about beat selling, maybe you could become more dependent and come to your own conclusions on what you should do with your analytics. So anyway, I'm going to jump into my computer and we're going to have a run through the stats, and I'm just going to talk you through my thought process as I look at the stats and what they actually mean and what I need to change up going forward in order to make some more sales than I already am. Okay, so what we are looking at now is my stats sales-wise for the past 30 days. Now, I've made $120 worth of sales. That has included a sale on my actual website, which I custom made myself. I have made 2 sales on the BeatStars marketplace, not Facebook, and I have made a Pro page sale as well. Now, that's technically 4 different transactions which have happened, and by the standards that I have set myself going forward and after the length of time I'm doing it, that isn't good enough. And just overall, I've just felt like there's been a little bit of a decline in sales, or you know when you get that gut feeling that sales are going to happen but it just doesn't. Now, we're all inclined to having bad months, but it's what you learn in them bad months that you can take forward is what matters, hence why I'm doing this video. So when you look at your stats, you haven't made any sales for a while, there's clearly something that you're not doing right in the marketing sense, because even though as music producers we want to create music and earn money from it, one of the things that we have to accept is there is a big portion of marketing involved when it comes to beat selling. You can't just rely on marketplace to get you them sales. You can't just make the music, upload it to BeatStars and expect it to get loads of sales. It's just, unfortunately, it's just not how it works. So I'm going to go to my stats for the last 30 days in this period, and you can see the views have been decent. This is very decent views for BeatStars. So one of the biggest myths I'm going to dispel for you is if you get more views on your beats, that means you're going to get more sales. You're not. That's just not going to happen, unfortunately. And you know, in this time there's been the usual type of beats which have been doing well for me, especially this loud type beat here has been doing really well. When I look at the top sources, my website, which I haven't been driving as much traffic to by the way, has got 1,900 plays. My Pro page has got 585 plays, which has actually been me through pushing more people to it. And when we come over to the free downloads, they are very much still in a good place. 203 downloads in the last 30 days is pretty okay. If we look at the last 60 days just to see how we compare, it's pretty much the same. Since this date around here, middle of February, I made the decision to go away from pushing people to my website, which is this stat down here, the players 119, to pushing people to go to my Pro page to see if I could get more downloads and if I can get more sales, because I thought that the website wasn't as user friendly and I wasn't getting many sales. I can tell you after a couple of weeks that I think I was wrong, and I'm going to go back to using the website, because though free downloads have pretty much stayed the same, most of the free downloads that I've been getting in the past 30 days have still been from the player, and I haven't even been pushing it. So this is a mistake I've made, was I had a Pro page, and a Pro page is good, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't listening to my own data when I thought that I'd experiment with the Pro page, and it turns out the website is still the best converter, so I've gone for that. But this is a really big concern for me in my own personal beat selling catalog, is the amount of free downloads I've got, but the lack of sales I've got. Now that, for me, brings up the question about the free for non-profit that I do, because with free for non-profit, there's lots of people who are then releasing tracks, and I've actually had a couple of issues with people releasing tracks and not crediting me as a producer. This has happened quite a few times on YouTube now. Because I have Airbit monetization, I can see when people upload beats for non-profit. I'm only making about 40p a month for every, I'd say for every 500 views I get, I'm probably making about 40p in streaming on YouTube for the non-profit thing. So the non-profit feature that I've enabled on BeatStars to try and get me more sales, I actually don't think it's having any more of an impact or making any more sales than when I had free with a tag. So this now draws me into the question that I'm thinking it might be time for me to go back to free with a tag. I don't want to do it yet because it's a very big decision, because I have been doing free for non-profit now for a little bit, and a lot of my subscribers to my email marketing letter have been enjoying that. So what I'm thinking in my head, what I could do with that, is I'm starting to think that I could just do a free beat Friday instead, which is an idea that I originally saw from Diddy Got It Bumpin'. He said it in one of his videos a long time ago, and I always thought it'd be something cool to do, but then I thought I'd go free for non-profit. But if this continues for another couple of weeks where I get a lot of free downloads but not seeing any sales coming back, I may go back to the decision of going free with a tag and then free for non-profit every Friday. So we shall see. It's quite a good marketing thing to go with, and it's something that is an encouragement for non-subscribers to do as well, which leads me very perfectly onto my Sending Blue, which is my email marketing. Now, a couple other numbers which I think I need to address personally is when I look at these stats here. If you're email marketing, if you want to know if your email's performing well or not, the average standard in general marketing sense is for clickers, you should probably have at least 2%. 2% is like an average, like an okay conversion. And to my non-subscriber email, where I'm sending emails up to 1,000 people, I'm only getting a 0.78% click-through rate, which that's not good enough. I mean, the open rate's good. Always aim for about 20% with the open rate, so it's always above that, but I'm not getting enough interactions, which shows me that my emails are not optimized enough. So looking at that data, I need to address my emails as well. So this could be another reason why sales have been down this month, because my emails just haven't been engaging enough. So that's the sort of thing as well. If you're ever looking at your stats, try and look at these sorts of things, because there could be a lot of things contributing to you not getting as many sales. And for me, a little bit of slap on the wrist to myself is clearly my emails aren't optimized enough, and I need to address that. I'm not so bothered about unsubscribers, because some people subscribe just for one free beat and they want to, you know, unsubscribe after they've got their free beat. That's okay. But for me, what's more important is getting more clickers through for my emails. So this is another thing I need to address. The other thing as well is Instagram. So my Instagram account, I've been uploading reels onto here, and I learned very recently that the best kind of reels are doing well for me is actually non-related beats ones. So I'm thinking going forward for Instagram, instead of just trying to upload these beat videos I've been doing where I go like new day, new beat, and I just advertise a beat, I'm thinking trying to do more of the actual producer stuff, because musicians like the sort of thing where you show production tips. So it's all about thinking, don't just think about trying to sell beats when you upload content, trying to think of the sort of content which would engage musicians. And for me, what I realized, that could also be music production tutorials, because musicians also want to know about that, as well as being into producers, and it just optimizes your reach. So this is another thing I have to address, because yeah, like you can tell if my reels are getting under 1,000 views for a consistent amount of time, I get a couple that pop off. But even though we've managed to get above 5,800, which is something I've been lingering below for about the best part of 6 months now, that's something that needs addressing as well. So Instagram as well, I need to look at the content and think about the content in a way that I can optimize it for musicians to follow, not just think, hey, here's a beat, this is how I made it, go download it. Because even though that's a really good idea for one bit of content, you just need to diversify it up and keep trying new things. Because I'm going to tell you now, without going onto my TikTok, uploading that content consistently for about 60 days now, none of them have been getting more than 200, 300 views. So that's a little bit of a problem which I need to address. Which the last point now is just the YouTube Type Beat channel, which when we look at the analytics, I actually tried something new today and it's worked quite well, because YouTube Shorts are actually going dead for me as well. A lot of people say to me on this channel that apparently if you upload YouTube Shorts, it's going to affect your actual YouTube videos. I don't find that. This is pretty standard for my channel. If we just look at the last 28 days, everything is still up. My channel's still doing a lot better than it usually does. So I can't actually say that I'm really doing anything wrong. If people aren't going over to my beat store after they've listened to one of these beats and downloaded my beats, that's just down to their preference. Maybe it's down to the layout of the website. So there's nothing really wrong with my Type Beat channel. So that's all good. It's still growing and we're still hopefully trying to get monetized. So if you have a YouTube Type Beat channel and you feel like it's your YouTube Type Beat channel that is not getting you any sales, the one thing you've really got to address if you want to make your Type Beat channel better is just making it engaging as possible and make sure it's a channel that's growing. Because if I'm being honest, a channel of my size with 558 subscribers is not a lot. The people who are making 5 to 6 figures where a lot of their traffic's coming from YouTube, if I'm being honest, they have at least over 10,000 subscribers. So that's the one thing you got to think about. But if having this gets you one extra sale a month, it's worth it. And every time I get a pro page sale, I always assume it's from this because most of my traffic to my pro page comes from YouTube. So it's still working, so that's okay. So when I look at my own data, the conclusion that I can come to firstly is on the short form content front, I need to diversify my content more to targeting musicians for all general and more educational purposes so I can monetize not only the beats I'm selling but also my skill set. Because if I can get engaging enough content to get musicians to follow me on Instagram, then I can advertise my beats on my stories and in Reels still, and I can target them again and again and again rather than relying on the algorithm to reach out to these artists every time. Another takeaway for me is my emails. I definitely need to get these more optimized. I can tell looking at the stats that the engagement open rates have not been as good as they can be. So that's something I need to address. There's 2 things to address. The third thing that I need to address as well is the free for non-profit. Go back to the drawing board maybe. I have been swearing by it on this YouTube channel for a while now. That free for non-profit was the way forward. But if I'm being honest, because again, I'm just a human, I make mistakes, I'm starting to think the free for non-profit, though it worked really well from November to February, it doesn't seem like it is working as much anymore. So yeah guys, I hope this video helped you give a better understanding of how you can look at your data and come to your own conclusions on how you can better your beat selling business. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button as it's the best way to support the channel. I'm going to be uploading more videos. I'm being honest, I have had a cold recently, which has given me less motivation to upload these videos, but I'm back and I'm going to be uploading more videos now going forward. So yeah guys, thank you for watching this video. Keep making music and I'll see you in the next video.